Hey, what's up everybody? Ben here from blogwithben.com, and welcome to this tutorial on how to use Unbounce, the powerful AI-based landing page builder that can help you create high-converting pages in no time. Whether you're a marketer, a small business owner, or a freelance blogger, Unbounce offers an intuitive interface and a wide range of features that can help you design, publish, and optimize landing pages that drive results. In this tutorial, I'm going to walk you through the basics of using Unbounce, including how to set up your account and create a new landing page using both the classic and AI-enhanced Smart Builder. I'm also going to show you how to customize your landing pages to match your brand and optimize it for conversions by connecting it to a top-level domain on a WordPress site and adding an email marketing funnel so that you can begin capturing leads. And as an added bonus, you're going to learn about some of the AI features of Unbounce, such as their Smart Builder, as well as a Smart Copywriting Assistant, and their Smart Traffic Optimization. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have a solid understanding of how to use Unbounce and AI to create landing pages that convert visitors into customers. Now, real quick, before we get started, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you found me. Here you're going to find professional step-by-step tutorials and reviews where I literally take you from start to finish and show you how to build, grow, and monetize a self-hosted WordPress blog or website. And if you find this video helpful, I would greatly appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Doing so helps me keep this channel going and growing, and it also allows you to stay up to date with all the WordPress and digital marketing trends that are happening throughout the year. So, as always, thank you for your support. All right, with that being said, let's get started. Okay, the first step in the process is to purchase your Unbounce plan. Now, before we dive into the pricing, I want to point out that Unbounce gives you a 14-day free trial to test everything out before you have to actually pay for your plan. And this is awesome because your free 14-day trial can be applied to any of the Unbounce plans, and it gives you full access to all of the plan features as well. There are no restrictions, and you won't be billed until after your 14-day free trial is complete. Plus, Unbounce will send you a reminder email near the end of your trial to verify whether or not you want to continue your plan, which is great because that means there won't be any surprises when you get your bill. And if you want to take Unbounce for a test drive for 2 weeks, I would greatly appreciate it if you would use my affiliate link, which is blogwithben.com/Unbounce, which is located in the video description below. And to access that link within YouTube, if you click on where it says show more below the video, that will open the video description where my affiliate link will be listed. And it should be the first one there. And clicking on that link will give you access to the 14-day free trial and will bring you to the plans page that you're looking at right now. And Unbounce offers a wide range of plans which entail the launch, optimize, accelerate, and concierge plans. And each plan is tailored to fit any need or budget, whether you're a one-person marketing team or a large agency or organization. Unbounce has a plan that can fit your needs. And taking a closer look at each plan, they all come with unlimited landing pages, pop-ups, and sticky bars, but then they start to vary in terms of price, as well as the conversions and visitors allowed per month, the numbers of domains you can use, and types of integrations available. Now, if you're a business or solo marketer just getting started with landing pages, then the launch or optimized plans would probably be most suitable for you. However, if you're a high-growth business or agency who needs more advanced features and support, then I would recommend the Accelerate or Concierge plans. Now, for this example, I'm going to be using the launch plan and will elect to pay month by month. So to see the monthly costs compared to the yearly costs, simply flip this switch to monthly, and you'll see the adjusted prices for the month-to-month plans. Now, with the month-to-month plans, you're paying more per month, but you don't have the higher lump sum up front. However, please note that all plans come with a 14-day free trial, and you can save up to 20% by paying annually instead of monthly. Either way, once you've decided on which plan best suits you, go ahead and click the Start Building for Free button. And again, I'll be using the launch plan in this tutorial, so I'll go ahead and select that one. And this will take you to the checkout process, which has conveniently been laid out into 3 steps. You'll create your Unbounce account, enter your billing info, and then confirm everything via email. It's pretty straightforward, and once you've filled everything out, be sure to check your inbox for the email verification from Unbounce. It'll look something like this, and all you'll do is click the Confirm Your Email Address button, and in a few moments, you'll be presented with some quick onboarding questions. This too is pretty straightforward. Unbounce just wants to get a better idea of who you are so they can help you get the most out of their platform. So go ahead and fill these out as they pertain to you. And don't worry if you're a solo entrepreneur and don't have a company or any employees. These are just preliminary onboarding questions and don't really affect that much in terms of how you use Unbounce. Either way, once you're done filling everything out, click the Get Started with Unbounce button. And welcome to the Unbounce Conversion Intelligence Platform. I like to think of this as home base for your account. This is where you'll manage, monitor, and create all of your landing pages from here on out. And just a heads up, I'll be referring to the Conversion Intelligence Platform as the Unbounce dashboard throughout this tutorial. So if you hear me say your Unbounce dashboard, this is what I'm talking about. It's just easier to say in my opinion. But either way, let's take a quick tour of the Unbounce dashboard. In this portion of the tutorial, we're going to quickly go over the Unbounce dashboard so that you can have a solid understanding of its features before you start building your landing pages. I know this may seem tedious, but it'll help you be more efficient with creating landing pages once you know where everything is and how things work. And real quick, before we dive in, I want to point out that Unbounce has a pretty amazing resource center filled with a ton of help docs and tutorials. And I'll link to this page in the video description below, but they really have some awesome documentation on pretty much every aspect of digital marketing, from landing page tips to SEO to even optimizing with artificial intelligence. So whenever you have some extra time, I highly recommend swinging by Unbounce's resources page and taking a look at what they have to offer. And I'll definitely link to this in the video description below titled Unbounce Support. I also want to point out that Unbounce has created an amazing community for Unbounce customers and digital marketers to share ideas, ask questions, and most importantly, build connections to help you grow smarter. This is yet another great resource for you to explore as you begin using Unbounce. And I'll link to this in the video description below as well, but you can also access the Help Center and Community page by visiting either one of these links within the Get in Touch section of the footer on the Unbounce homepage. All right, back at the Unbounce dashboard, let me give you a quick tour so you know where everything is and can get a better feel for how things work. If you look at the top of your screen, you'll see the information relating to your traffic and conversion allocations, account info, and customer support. Towards the left is the Clients tab, and this lets you create subfolders in the same Unbounce account and segment pages into different subcategories. This is helpful for using Unbounce for multiple clients because it allows you to stay more organized if you're creating multiple landing pages for various clients. Next, towards the right is the Traffic and Conversions allocation. This is where you can locate your monthly traffic and conversion allocations for your landing pages. Next to that is the Support icon, and clicking on this question mark will let you contact Unbounce's support team. Then next to that is the Account Management button. And clicking this lets you view all information related to your account, such as your subscription plan details, billing information, user info, and client info as well. All right, moving on to the sidebar menu on the left-hand side of the screen. This is where you'll navigate throughout the platform to create your landing pages, add integrations, and more. Then whatever you have selected in your sidebar menu will display here. And we currently are in the Pages section where once you start creating landing pages, they will be listed here. You'll get a better idea of how this works once we start building our pages. And again, clicking on the Pages menu item will bring you to this section of your dashboard. I should also point out that in the sidebar there are numbers next to each menu item. This lets you know how many pages or features are currently active within each section. Okay, next we have the pop-ups and sticky bars. We won't be using them in this tutorial, but this is where you can see existing pop-ups and sticky bars and create new ones. And if you're new to these features, pop-ups are similar to browser windows that appear over a landing page, and sticky bars are banners that appear above or below a page's content. Both pop-up and sticky bars are available for desktop and mobile landing pages as well. These are great tools to implement in your lead gen to help generate conversions. There's even a sneak peek feature where you can enter the URL of your homepage to preview how a pop-up or sticky bar will look on your site. Pretty cool to test out. All right, moving on to the Integrations tab. This is where you'll see a list of all the integrations that you've embedded onto your landing pages, as well as all the available integrations. I currently have 0, but we'll be adding an email marketing funnel to a landing page a little later on in the video, and this integration section is how we'll do that. Now, Unbounce has done a great job of showcasing the various integrations that you can embed on your site. Towards the top, they list the most popular ones. Then below that are the native integrations. These are in-app integrations built right into Unbounce for the quickest and easiest way to connect. Below that are the Zapier integrations. And if you have a Zapier account, you can access 60+ time-saving integrations that are already built for you without typing a line of code or leaving the Unbounce dashboard. And if you're unfamiliar with Zapier, it's basically the world's biggest integration tool. In addition to the 60+ pre-built templates in Unbounce, you can create connections for their entire library of 900+ apps through your Zapier account. It's free to get started, and I'll link to Zapier in the video description below if you think you'll be using it for your integrations. Now for this tutorial, I'll be using Aweber for the email marketing connection, which falls under the native integrations, so we won't be using Zapier. But either way, this integration section is quite helpful with connecting apps to your landing pages. All right, moving on to the Domains tab. This is where you can set up and connect your custom domain to Unbounce. And there are various ways to accomplish this, but for this tutorial, we'll be connecting via a WordPress domain. Again, if you plan on manually connecting your domain or using a different CMS, Unbounce has a ton of helpful documentation that can help you out. Just visit the links listed below the buttons to access the various walkthroughs and tutorials. Okay, next we have the Users tab, and this is just where all of the approved users for your account will be listed. I obviously only have one user, but this is where you can manage your account's users and configure their different permissions and roles. You can also add users by clicking this invite button. This lets you grant access to other people in your team or organization. Next are the settings, and for the sake of time, we won't be doing a deep dive on these, but this is where you can access the script manager, embed code, IP filters, and email notifications. Again, we won't be touching these in this video, but feel free to get familiar with them as you start building your pages. Moving on to the Labs tab, and this is a fun and interactive way to check out current projects that Unbounce is working on. Looks like they currently have a hyperspace publishing feature that displays hyperspace graphics like you're flying through space while your page loads. Kind of funny, but you can enable that feature here if you'd like. Then finally, towards the bottom left, we have the AI copywriting feature called Smart Copy. We'll be covering this in greater detail a little later on in the video, but this Smart Copy tool uses artificial intelligence to generate original, persuasive content for your marketing campaigns in seconds. And I'm sure you're familiar with how AI seems to be taking center stage of our world lately, but there really are some great ways that we as marketers can leverage AI to save time and be more efficient in our messaging to our audience. And the Smart Copy tool is a great introduction to AI, and it really has some amazing benefits that I'll show you a little later on in the tutorial. Okay, so that's your Unbounce conversion intelligence platform in a nutshell. I hope it gave you a better understanding of how to navigate the dashboard and what some of the features do. But if you want a more in-depth overview, Unbounce has a helpful article that walks you through each section of the dashboard in greater detail that I'll link to in the video description below, titled Unbounce Dashboard Overview. All right, moving on. Next, let's build your first landing page. So head to the Pages section by clicking on Pages in the sidebar. And from here, let's create a landing page. In this portion of the tutorial, I'm going to walk you through the process of using Unbounce to create a landing page. We're going to go step by step, and I'll walk you through the process of using the classic builder to create a lead generating landing page. Now, if you want to get some practice before diving in, Unbounce has created this guided practice page for you to learn on. Simply click the Try the Builder tutorial, and you'll be taken to their practice sandbox, so to speak, that will let you get used to how to use the builder. However, I'm going to walk you through the entire process right now. So let's get started. Okay, anytime you want to create a new landing page, within the Pages section, simply click the Create New button in the upper right corner of the screen. Next, you'll be given the option of which builder you'd like to use, the Classic or Smart Builder. We're going to cover how to use both in this video, but the Classic Builder is Unbounce's original builder. It consists of drag and drop customization with a ton of control over the design and scripts being used. The Smart Builder, on the other hand, is still in beta, but it's Unbounce's cutting-edge landing page builder that's powered by AI. It's geared more toward the lean marketer that maybe doesn't have a designer on staff or is short on time. This new Smart Builder is an innovative way of working when it comes to building landing pages. And as I said, we'll be covering how to build landing pages with both of these builders so that you could see what each has to offer and decide which one suits your needs. So let's start with the classic builder by clicking the Start Building button. And this will take you to the template selector. Now, Unbounce has done a great job of breaking this process down into 3 steps. First, you'll pick a content type, and you have 3 to choose from: landing pages, pop-ups, and sticky bars. And we're creating a landing page in this tutorial, so I'll leave that selected. Next, you'll choose a template. And this is the bread and butter of Unbounce because they come with a ton of professionally ready-made landing pages that are designed beautifully right out of the box. Now, they start you off with their Builder Basics template selected. This is yet another great tool that Unbounce offers to help you get acclimated with using the classic builder. And you can see that once you select a template, they'll give you a preview of that template on the right-hand side of the screen. This gives you a quick demo of what the page will look like on desktop and mobile. Then finally, when you've selected your template, you'll give it a name and begin to design it. Now for the example in this video, I'm going to create a landing page for my free food blog ebook. So let me show you another awesome feature of the Unbounce templates. So instead of going through them one by one, you can filter the results and drill down to specific niches and topics by clicking that drop down here where it says filter. And if we scroll down, you'll see that they actually have a few templates designed specifically for ebooks. Again, this is great if you don't have a designer on staff or if you're pressed for time. These ebook specific templates give me a great starting point in terms of design since I'm trying to get people to download my ebook. And I like the Marcanado one, so I'll select it. And then we get this beautiful preview of the page. Remember, this is all customizable within the builder. You can make this whatever you want. And the template is, again, just a great starting point to help you get the ball rolling. Now let's check out the mobile preview. So toward the top of the screen, you can toggle between desktop and mobile by clicking on these icons. And check that out. The mobile preview looks great too. You can even scroll through the mobile preview and check out the user experience on a mobile device. All right, I like this one, so let's go with it. So moving on to step number 3, which is to choose a name for the landing page. And this name will be used in the back end of the Unbounce dashboard, so you'll be able to distinguish this page from other landing pages that you might want to create later, as well as for your page's permalink. But don't worry, I'll show you how to edit the URL and permalink once we've created the page and are ready to launch. Okay, so now that I've named the page, go ahead and click the Start with this template button, and this will take you to the classic builder where the ebook template is ready for us to start designing. However, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let me give you a high-level overview of the components, properties, and sections of the classic builder. It's pretty intuitive once you know your way around, so let me give you a quick tour of where everything is. So first, towards the top of the screen, we have a toolbar, and starting on the left consists of a way back to the Unbounce dashboard. Clicking on Overview or that Unbounce logo will take you back to your dashboard. Next to that is your variant list. This is where you can toggle between the different variants of your landing page. And we'll definitely cover this in greater detail a little later on in the video when I show you how to create different variants or versions of your landing page. Next is the title of your landing page. So whatever name you chose for your landing page will be listed here. Then moving towards the right is the version control. This is really cool because clicking on this will let you restore back to an older version of your landing page. This is great if you've made changes and need to go back to an earlier version of the page. It's definitely a lifesaver in some situations. Next to that are the Save and Publish buttons. These are pretty straightforward. You'll click the Save button to save your changes as you're building the page, and then publish the page, essentially making it live online. Then there's a Preview button, and clicking on this will open up a preview environment, and it lets you see what your landing page will look like on a desktop browser and mobile device. Being able to preview your work before it's live is a key component to creating a professional landing page, and we'll definitely be using this in just a few moments. Next to that is the Support tab, and this lets you contact Unbounce's support team and submit a help ticket. You can also access help documentation, as well as get a status update. All right, moving towards the left-hand side of the builder, we have the widget panel, and this consists of multiple drag and drop elements to apply to your landing page, like text, images, forms, videos, customizable HTML, and more, simply drag each widget over the page within the builder to add that particular element to the page. And we'll use this a little later on, but it's a great feature that lets you extend the functionality of your landing page. Next, if you look on the right-hand side of the screen, you'll see the Properties, Page Properties, and Goals tabs. These tabs provide the building blocks for customizing your landing page, updating page settings and metadata, and setting conversion goals. Again, we'll dive into these later on in the tutorial, but these are essential to designing and customizing your landing page. Next, we have the actual template within the Classic Builder. This is where the magic happens and is where you have complete control over every aspect of your page. From images to text to form fields, this is where you'll create and design your landing page. Also, if you look towards the top of the template, you'll see that you have additional editing options. It's kind of hard to see because they're grayed out at the moment, but within that toolbar, you can undo and redo edits, move elements up or down on the page, bring elements forward or backward if they're stacked on top of one another. You can also copy, paste, duplicate elements or sections, and delete elements and sections altogether. Then directly below the toolbar is the form confirmation dialog, and this is where you can edit the confirmation message that the user gets after they fill out the lead form on the landing page. Then towards the bottom left corner are the JavaScript, Style Sheet, and Contents panel. Use the Contents panel to view all elements of your landing page or hide and display different elements from the mobile or desktop versions. And we'll be going over that as well a little later on in the tutorial. Then the JavaScript and CSS buttons let you add custom scripts or CSS onto your page. And finally, towards the bottom right corner, we have the ability to toggle between the desktop and mobile versions of the landing page. As you'll see in a few moments, if you make a change to the desktop version of your landing page, you'll more than likely need to adjust it on the mobile version as well. And this is obviously campaign specific, but more than likely your landing page will have visitors from mobile devices. So you'll want to make sure this mobile version is switched on if you know that web traffic from mobile users will be landing on your page. Then to toggle between the desktop and mobile versions of your landing page, simply click the desktop or mobile buttons. And if we click this mobile button, it'll take you to the mobile experience where you can begin editing, and you may get a pop-up, but you can go ahead and close this out, and we'll definitely be revisiting this a little later on in the tutorial. But again, this is how you toggle between your mobile and desktop views of your landing page. All right, so that's your Classic Builder overview. As always, if you'd like to take a closer look at the features we just went over, Unbounce has a great help doc that walks you through the Classic Builder in greater detail that you could check out, and I'll be sure to link to that in the video description below. Okay, now that you know your way around the builder, let's start actually building your landing page. All right, so if you look towards the middle of the screen, you'll see the template that you chose to use, and everything on this screen is completely customizable within the template. You'll notice that as I hover my mouse over different elements of the page, you'll see a box appear around each one. This indicates what you're editing at the moment, and clicking on it will open the properties of that specific element, allowing you to edit it even further to your liking. For example, let's select this heading. And as I click on it, you'll see that it not only highlights the text box, but it opens the properties as well on the right-hand side of the screen. And you can edit the text of the heading within the text box just by typing. And you can change things like the font, style, color, alignment, and border within the Properties tab on the right-hand side of the screen. You really have complete control over the design of your pages and the UI. Okay, so this landing page is going to be for a free ebook aimed at food bloggers. So I'll obviously want to change this heading, and all you'll do is replace the placeholder heading with whatever you want it to say. It's just like you're writing an email or a Google Doc. This changes in real time right here within the template. No coding whatsoever. How awesome is that? Then check this out. My new heading overlaps the paragraph below it due to it being a little longer than the placeholder heading. So another really cool thing you could do in the Classic Builder is you can literally move each element to any location on the landing page by dragging and dropping it like so. And as you do, you'll see the orange and blue guidelines appearing inside and around the template layout. These are like design guardrails to help you stay within the limits of the template, but it also helps ensure that you're keeping things cohesive design-wise. Okay, so that heading looks good. Then as you make changes to the desktop version of your landing page, you'll need to also update your mobile version as well, if you've enabled the mobile version. Remember, you're essentially creating two versions of your landing page with this builder, one for desktop and one for mobile. So as you design, keep that in mind and always double check the mobile version as you're designing. And Unbounce does a good job at reminding you to update your mobile layout with this little alert next to the mobile button stating that changes have affected the other view. And clicking on it will take you to the mobile view where, as you can see, the new heading needs to be adjusted so that it's not overlapping with the paragraph text. And you'll edit the mobile version just like you would the desktop version. Simply drag and drop that text element to the desired location on the template. Then to get back to the desktop view, simply click the desktop tab in the bottom right corner of the builder. And we're back to the desktop template and we can continue editing. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to kind of speed through me editing the remaining text on this desktop template, but as I do, you'll see the steps are the exact same as when we were editing the heading. Whatever you want to change, simply click on that element and begin typing. You can change the font, the location, alignment, color, etc. The Classic Builder really gives you complete control over every aspect of your landing page. Okay, that's going to do it for the text. Next, let's edit the lead form. And again, just like everything else on this template, you can edit the form by clicking on it to select the form element. Then by default, this template's form uses 4 fields to capture the user's first and last name, email, and company. But for this example, I only need their name and email. So to edit the form fields within the Properties tab, simply click the Edit Form Fields button. And this will open the field editor, giving you even more control over what fields you use and what displays. And if you look on the left, this is where you can add custom fields or predefined fields to the form. Then on the right is a preview of what is currently being used, where you can rearrange, add, and remove the fields. Again, I want to remove the last name and company fields, so all you'll do is select the field that you want to edit, and it should turn a darker gray color with arrow icons and a trash can. And clicking on the trash can icon will delete the field completely. And I'll do that for both of those fields that I want to remove. There we go. Then click the Done button when you're finished configuring the form fields. And we have our new lead form. However, since we removed 2 fields, it left a ton of additional space between the CTA and the fields, making it look pretty awful. But you can easily fix that within the builder by dragging and dropping the border line like so. Then I'll adjust the CTA and bring that up a bit. Then I'll bring the top of the form down again, and then make a few small adjustments. And as I'm doing this, hopefully you're starting to see the complete control that you actually have over the design of your landing page within the Classic Builder. It's pretty cool. Beautiful, looks great. How easy was that? And no coding required, I love it. Okay, we have our form, but again, since we made changes to the desktop version, you'll want to double check the mobile version to ensure that the changes are aligned and the same. So let's head over to the mobile view by clicking on the mobile tab in the bottom right corner of the builder. And as we scroll down and review the mobile version of the landing page, there are obviously some edits that we'll need to make. Again, this is just a great example of always checking your mobile and desktop views before you launch your landing page. So let me bring these bullet points next to the text and then adjust the heading. And then I'll resize the form. Then another cool thing you can do is adjust the length of your pages. As you can see, we have quite a bit of white space below our form due to resizing it. So at the very bottom of the template, you can basically drag it to wherever you want, essentially changing the length of the page and making it much more cohesive and user-friendly. All right, let's head back to the desktop view. So click the desktop tab in the bottom right corner of the builder. And let's review everything, make sure it looks good. Looking good so far. Next, let's edit the images on the page starting with the logo. So just like the text, click on that placeholder logo on the upper left corner of the template, and this will give you the ability to edit and add your own logo. So I obviously want to change this, so within the Properties tab, find the Image Properties and click the Change Image button. And this will take you to the media library. It's currently empty, but this is where all of the images you've uploaded to use will be stored. It's also where Unbounce houses over 2,000 free images in the Unbounce image library, as well as over 1 million free high-quality images and pictures from Unsplash. These are all free to use, and you can access them by clicking on each tab. Starting with the Unbounce public images, which consist of stock photography and graphic design logos and icons. Then we have the Unsplash images, which are more professional stock photography. Both offer a ton of benefits to your pages, but for my logo, I'm going to be using my Blog with Ben logo that I have on my computer. So back at my media library, to add an image, simply click the Upload New Images button and find the image that you want to use on your computer. Then once it's uploaded, click the Choose button and it'll be added to the page. Now, depending on the original size of your logo, if the uploaded image is larger compared to the size of your landing page or template, a dialog box will appear alerting you of the size discrepancy. You can choose not to scale or scale image to fit. Feel free to test each one, but I'm not going to scale and I'll adjust the size within the builder. So I'll click the Don't Scale button, and you'll notice that the image is much larger than the template due to it bleeding over the boundary of the page, which Unbounce alerts you with this red overlay on the image. But to fix it, you have a couple options. You can resize it in the Properties tab under the Geometry tab, or you can manually edit your image's size by clicking and dragging the image using the Resize button. This allows you to increase or decrease your image size to fit the dimensions of your landing page. And there we go, perfect. Next, let's update the mobile view. So click the Mobile tab in the bottom right corner of the builder. Then with this particular logo, the mobile dimensions seemed off, causing the logo to look stretched. I'm not sure why that happened, but to fix it, I double-clicked on the logo to open the editing toolbar, and from here, I clicked the Edit Mask button. Then a mask slider appeared, and when I moved that little slider, the image dimensions were restored and I was able to adjust the size. Then I had to readjust the mask boundary by dragging and dropping these lines to ensure that the entire logo displayed properly. Then once the logo was a good size and displayed correctly, I clicked the Done button and then simply moved the image element so that the logo was centered at the top of the screen. Those were my steps to fix it. It may be different depending on what template you're using, but that's what worked for me in this mobile view. Now I realize that one of my bullet points is off, but I'll fix that in a moment. But let's head back to the desktop view and update our other images. So click the Desktop tab in the bottom right corner of the builder. And then one thing I forgot to mention is that when you add an image, you'll always want to be conscious about SEO and update the alt text and title. Remember, search engine bots can't see images, so the metadata helps them know what your images are. And the way you'll update that is to click on your image, and then within the Properties tab, you can add the alt text and title for each image that you upload to your landing page. Then scrolling down the Properties tab, you can even link to the image if needed, update the border properties, and more. Feel free to explore these settings when you have some extra time. Okay, next, let's swap out these placeholder images of the tablets and add an image that is more on brand. Now, this particular template uses 2 stock photos of tablets with some imagery of the sample ebook. Now, due to the fact that these images are full images, the only way I could remove that sample image of the ebook cover would be to manually do it in Photoshop. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to completely remove these images and replace them with an image of my own. So removing elements from the page can be done a couple of ways, but I just clicked on each image and selected it and then hit delete on my keyboard. Simple enough. Then let's do the same thing for mobile. So click the Mobile tab and then follow the same steps to remove that image. There we go. Then let's head back to the desktop version. So click Desktop and we'll add our own image. So this time I'm actually adding a new element instead of replacing one. So one way to do that is to use the widget panel. Simply drag and drop the image element like so and place it on the template. Then this will open your media library where you can use one of their photos or upload one of your own. Again, I'm going to upload my own image that I created, so I'll click Upload New Images and find the image that I want to use on my computer. And there we go. Then make sure it's selected and click the Choose button. And check that out. How easy was that? Looks great. Then let's update the mobile view. So once again, click Mobile. And looks like I'll need to adjust the size and location of this image. So again, you can drag and drop the corners of the image, allowing you to properly resize it. Then I'll move it a bit. And there we go. Then I want to show you something that you'll need to be mindful of when moving certain elements on your page. If we go back to the desktop view, you'll see that since we moved the location of the image on mobile, it also moved the image location on desktop. This can cause some complications when you're trying to make two versions of your landing pages look good across multiple devices. So one hack is to use a keyboard shortcut when you're moving elements on your page. Simply click and hold the Command key while moving your images, and this will only change the image on the current view you're using. So for example, I'm holding the Command key down on my keyboard, and then when I move the image on the desktop view, you'll see that when we visit the mobile view, the image hasn't changed location. And for the sake of the example, I'll do the same thing here on mobile. I'm holding down the Command key on my keyboard while moving the image. And then when I go back to the desktop view, you can see that the image here hasn't moved. This is just a quick tip to help you keep your sanity as you're moving elements around on your pages. This took me a while to figure out, so hopefully this hack saves you some time. Okay, I'm going to undo those changes so that my ebook image is aligned properly on both views. So if you recall, you can revert your changes by clicking the undo button. And as you do, it'll take you to the view where the changes were made. That's why it goes from mobile to desktop as you click the undo button. Then I actually want to move the ebook image down a bit on my desktop view. So I'm holding down the Command key on my keyboard, and then I'll move this down a bit. Okay, we're good to go there. Next, let's change the background image. By default, they start you off with this stock photo, but since this landing page is for a food blog ebook, I definitely want to use imagery that is food related. So to change this background image, you'll click on it to select the element. Then within the Properties tab, under the Background section, click the Change Image button. And this will take you to your media library. And for this example, I'm going to use a stock photo from the Unsplash library. So when you click the Unsplash Images tab, you can browse their thousands of professional images to use on your page. And one way to narrow your search is to use the search function in the upper right corner of the screen. As you can see, when I type the keyword food, it gives me all the images that are food related. Again, saving me a ton of time and allowing me to quickly find an image for my background. Then once you find an image you want to use, click on it to select it, and then click the Choose button. And it'll start uploading the image to your page. Now this may take a few seconds, so just sit tight really quick while it does its thing. And just continue to wait. I know it may seem like it takes forever, but just depending on the size of the image, the time it takes to load may take a few seconds, so just be patient. And we'll give it a few more seconds. Perfect. That definitely changes the entire look and feel of the page. I love it. Then don't forget to double check the mobile view. And the food background image looks good here as well. Nice. Okay, let's head back to desktop. And let me show you some other ways you could tweak this image. So if you click on the image, and then within the Properties tab, under the Background section, click on Advanced Settings. And this will give you the ability to change things like the focal point of the image, as well as the overlay color. Just use this slider and you could change the opacity of the overlay color. It's pretty cool. Then you can change the color by clicking this color swap. This opens the color picker tool and allows you to change it to whatever you want. And there we go. I like that darker shade of green. Then let's double check the mobile view. And color looks good here as well. Then let's not forget about this bullet point. It got moved somehow when I was undoing changes, I think. So let me move that back to the correct place. And there we go. Then don't forget to check the desktop view. So we'll head back to desktop. And everything looks good here too. Very nice. All right, next, let's update the page title and meta description. These are two important aspects for any page if you want to leverage SEO and increase your chances of ranking higher in the search engines. Plus, it's just the best practice to always update your page titles and meta descriptions. So to do that, open the Page Properties tab on the right-hand side of the screen. Then within the title and metadata section, you'll have the ability to add your own page title, keywords, meta description, AMP URL, which stands for Accelerated Mobile Page, and then you can even hide the page from the search engines if you'd like. So for the sake of this example, if you want to optimize your page for the search engines, you could add your SEO-friendly page title here in the title field. Then you could update the meta description, adding a few sentences outlining what the page is about. And always try to use keywords that you're trying to rank for in your title and meta descriptions as well. And speaking of keywords, you can add them to the keyword field here, but I'm skipping that for now, as well as the AMP URL, but feel free to explore these options if you'd like. Then, and this is campaign specific, but I'm going to actually hide this page from the search engines because I'm targeting a specific group within an email list. So I don't want this page showing in the search engine results because it could negatively impact my analytics. So I'm going to check this box and this page will not be indexed by the search engines. Okay, that's going to do it for the page properties. Then as you're working, it's always a good idea to save your changes along the way. So to do that, simply click the Save button in the upper right corner of the builder. And there we go. Now we're almost done, but it's always a good idea to preview your pages before publishing them so that you can get a better idea of what they'll look like online. So to preview your landing pages, simply click the Preview button in the upper right corner. And this will essentially remove the template and show you what it'll look like in a desktop browser. And so far so good. Our landing page is really coming along. Then you could switch to the mobile preview here by clicking the mobile icon at the top of the screen. And we get a nice little mobile device preview. And scrolling through it, the mobile version looks great too. All right, then to get back to the actual template, click the Edit button in the upper right corner of the screen, and you'll be taken back to your template builder. Okay, we're moving right along, but there are a few more things I want to go over here before we move on to setting up your domain and email marketing funnel. So if you look in the bottom left corner of the builder, you'll see a Contents tab, and clicking on that will give you a list view of every element on the landing page. This essentially gives you another way to edit the layout of the page. Now, as you can see, every element is listed with an eyeball icon next to it, and clicking on that eyeball will allow you to hide and unhide the specific element on the page. Again, this is yet another way to quickly rearrange and test various layouts as you're creating different variants of the page, which we'll cover testing variants a little later on, but I just wanted to show you this feature as it's pretty convenient when it comes to editing your content. Next, let's go over the goals of the page. And clicking on the Goals tab, which is located on the right-hand side of your builder, will allow you to determine the conversion goals for the page. By default, the suggested conversion goals here will include elements on your page, such as links, text links, button links, or forms, any of which you can select to track as a conversion. Now, I only have one form on this page. I'm not using any links or buttons other than the form submission button. So the conversion goal for this landing page is my form submissions. So I'll leave that box checked so that Unbounce knows to track each submission and measures that as an action taken by the visitor as a conversion. Then below that, they have external conversion tracking. I'm not using that for this page, but click on that button there and it'll give you some more info about external conversion tracking. Okay, next, let's edit the form confirmation dialog. So anytime someone fills out and completes this lead form, they'll get a pop-up that gives them a nice little thank you message. This form confirmation dialog is a built-in feature in the Classic Builder, and you can access it here in the upper left corner of the builder. And clicking on that tab will show you what the pop-up will look like after someone completes the form. Again, this is all customizable, but one thing I will say is that there are placeholder images on my pop-up that weren't loading for some reason. So when I was first learning how to edit this pop-up, I wasn't really aware of the images that were being used. So as you'll see, whenever we get a little further in the email marketing section of the video, we'll need to revisit this pop-up and edit the images. Either way, I'll show you how to edit this in full a little later on. But for right now, I'm just going to edit the text. And this is just like the landing page template text elements. Just place your cursor within the text and change it to whatever you want it to say. So I'll have this say, "Yay, your guide is on the way. Check your inbox for a confirmation email." Now I should mention that the email journey and this confirmation email will all be handled and set up on the email marketing provider side of things, which for this tutorial I'm using Aweber, but this pop-up is a good way to push them towards confirming their email and getting on your email list. Okay, then let's not forget to check the mobile view. And the text looks good there as well. Again, we'll update the images a little later on in the video. I apologize, but I didn't realize that the images weren't loading when I first edited this confirmation message. Either way, let's save these changes. So click the Save button. And then to get back to the template builder, click the Page button towards the upper left corner of the toolbar. And that's going to do it for the design portion of this landing page. For the sake of time, I kept it pretty simple, but you can obviously go a lot further with the design of these templates. The Unbounce Classic Builder allows you to add different sections, elements, widgets, images, buttons, and so much more. So don't be afraid to test different layouts and get your feet wet with the builder's capabilities. But as I said, we're going to go with this layout and move on. So let's head back to the Unbounce dashboard. And anytime you need to get back there, simply click either the Unbounce icon or the Overview tab in the upper left corner of the screen. And this will take you back to the Unbounce dashboard, where you'll see that your landing page will now be listed in the Pages section. It shows the name, URL, versions being used, and some quick conversion data. And speaking of the URL, next, let me show you how to change this placeholder domain and use your own domain for this landing page. In this portion of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to update your landing page domain so that you could use a much more professional and user-friendly top-level domain. As you can see by default, Unbounce starts you out with this placeholder domain, but I assume you don't want to use this as it can be bad for branding and could hurt conversions. So let's change this domain. Alright, so when it comes to your landing page's domain, you have a couple options as to how to change it. For example, I'm going to be using a WordPress domain that is already in use on a live website. However, as I mentioned earlier, there are multiple ways to connect your domain to Unbounce, and your situation may be different than mine in that maybe you aren't using WordPress or you haven't even purchased your domain yet. If that's the case, I highly recommend checking out Unbounce's help docs on connecting a domain. They outline almost every possibility and have a ton of help documentation that walks you through various scenarios to connect a domain to your landing page. And I'll put a link to these help docs in the show notes below the video, but if you aren't using WordPress, I would take a look at these resources to help you along. And don't forget that if you get stuck, you could always reach out to Unbounce's technical support team as well. They'd be more than happy to help you out with your domain. Okay, so for this example, as I mentioned earlier, I'm using a domain that is already live on one of my WordPress sites. And all this means is that my landing page will use the primary domain for that site, and then I can edit the permalink to make it whatever I want it to be. So first things first, in order to update the domain being used in Unbounce, head to the domain section by clicking on the domain tab. And then just a heads up, you can also access the help docs here by visiting these links. However, I'm connecting via WordPress and the Unbounce plugin. So in this example, click the Connect a WordPress Domain button. And next, you'll be asked to enter the WordPress domain that you'd like to publish to. So within the field provided, enter the domain and then click the Create a WordPress Domain button. And then the domain has been successfully added. Next, you'll need to install Unbounce's plugin. So click the Install Unbounce's WordPress plugin button. And I'm already logged into WordPress, so it conveniently takes me to my WordPress dashboard where it even has automatically searched for and it displays the Unbounce landing page plugin. How cool is that? And all I have to do from here is install and activate it. So let me do that really quick. Then I'm using WP Engine as my web host, so that's why I get these pop-ups after I install and activate it. You probably won't see this if you're using a different web host, just a heads up. And then let me actually activate the plugin. And again, I get that WP Engine pop-up, and once I close that out, it'll be listed as one of my active plugins on my site. Next, we want to authorize the plugin so that it can connect to Unbounce. So within the left-hand side of your WordPress dashboard, click on where it says Unbounce Pages. And from here, simply click the Authorize with Unbounce button. And this will allow you to connect your domain and essentially publish your landing pages to WordPress through Unbounce. And the plugin has been authorized and the WordPress domain has been successfully added. Now, I haven't published any pages yet, so nothing will be listed here, but as you publish pages on Unbounce using this domain, they'll be listed here within WordPress, and it just offers another way for you to manage your landing pages. Okay, let's head back to Unbounce, and then you'll need to go through two more steps, so click the Next button. And here you'll be reminded that you'll need to actually change the domain in Unbounce from the placeholder domain to the WordPress domain, and we'll do that in just a few moments. So go ahead and click the Next button again. Then finally, you're being told that you'll now see the WordPress icon next to your WordPress domains in Unbounce, as well as any page that's being published to WordPress. All right, with that being said, let's update the landing page domain within Unbounce. So go ahead and click the Close button. And then you should see the newly added domain listed here with the green check mark notifying you that it's working with WordPress. Then to update the URL, let's head to the Pages section again. And it looks like the primary domain has been updated. It's no longer using the Unbounce placeholder domain, but it's now using my WordPress domain. However, by default, the permalink is using the page title of the landing page within the URL. This isn't bad, but if for any reason you want to change that, this is how you can update your URL. Okay, first things first, select the page by clicking on it within the Pages section of your Unbounce dashboard. And this will take you to your Pages overview. This is like home base for the back end of your landing page. And once you've published your page, this is where you can access stats, analytics, reporting, add integrations, create variants, and more. And we'll definitely be doing that in a bit, but for now, let's update the domain's URL. So go ahead and click the Change URL button. And you'll get a pop-up where you'll see a preview of the URL, but below that is where you could set the domain being used as well as the page path, commonly referred to as the subdirectory or what I was calling the permalink. And it's pretty straightforward. Just type what you want your new subdirectory to be in that field, and remember to use lowercase letters and put dashes in between the words instead of a space. And as you update the page path, your URL will be updated in real time. Pretty cool. Okay, once you've settled on your new domain and URL, click the Save URL button, and your new URL will now be in use. Now, I actually didn't save the URL, so mine didn't update, but if you click the Save URL button, the new URL will display here within your Pages section. And you may notice that it's using the HTTP prefix before the URL. However, because we connected this to WordPress, it'll redirect to an HTTPS prefix. Just a heads up on that. I also want to point out that if you didn't use a WordPress domain for your landing page, you still have the ability to force an HTTPS redirect for all non-WordPress domains. Simply visit your Domains tab in your Unbounce dashboard and then flip that switch towards the top of the screen. That will redirect all domains using HTTP and will ensure that your landing pages are SSL protected. All right, moving on. Next, let's connect an email marketing funnel and add an integration to this landing page. In this portion of the tutorial, I'm going to walk you through the process of connecting an email marketing provider to the landing page through Unbounce's integration. This will allow you to collect leads submitted through your lead form and store them in your email marketing provider, which for this example will be Aweber. Now, I should point out that this tutorial won't walk you through the process of setting up your email marketing provider and the actual email journey, but if you're using Aweber, I have a tutorial that shows you how to set everything up on the email marketing side of things that you can access in the show notes below the video. Just visit the link titled Aweber Tutorial, and that'll get you started with their email marketing software. Either way, the idea here is that once you've connected Aweber to Unbounce, the leads collected through this landing page will be sent to Aweber, and then we'll go through the email journey that's built out in Aweber. Another thing I want to point out is that if you aren't using Aweber, that's not a problem. Unbounce facilitates the connection of hundreds of third-party apps natively and with the help of webhooks and Zapier. So if you're not using Aweber as your email marketing provider, chances are you could still connect to Unbounce. And once again, I want to direct you to Unbounce's help documentation if you aren't using Aweber. They literally cover every third-party integration and have detailed step-by-step articles and videos that walk you through the process. So I'll link to this page in the video description below, but definitely check it out if you aren't using Aweber or if you just want to see what other integrations are possible. All right, with that being said, let's add an integration and connect the Aweber email marketing provider to this landing page. So within your Unbounce dashboard, click the Integrations tab. And this will take you to the integrations page that lists the various third-party apps that you can connect. Now, we briefly covered the differences between these integrations, but for this example, I'm using Aweber, which is a native integration, meaning it's an in-app integration built right into Unbounce for the quickest and easiest way to connect. However, if your app isn't listed here, then chances are it falls under the Zapier integrations. And they list a few of them here, but if you click the Show More link, it opens the rest of the catalog of apps and displays all the integrations that can be facilitated through Zapier. And I'll link to Zapier in the video description below, but in order to connect any of these apps to your landing page, you'll need to sign up for a free Zapier account, and then like I said, you can begin connecting these apps to your landing pages. Okay, hopefully you have a better understanding of how these integrations work, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm using Aweber as my email marketing provider, so I'm going to select Aweber from the native integrations. Then a pop-up will appear asking me to select my page to connect to. I only have one, so I'll select my food blog ebook landing page and click the Select and Continue button. Next, you'll see another pop-up, and to begin the connection process, simply click the Connect with Aweber button. Then next, you'll be prompted to log into Aweber with your Aweber login credentials. This will allow Unbounce to access your Aweber account. Then prove you're not a robot by checking that box and click the Allow Access button. And then in a few short moments, you should be redirected back to Unbounce. If you aren't for any reason, or if you get a connection failure message, or if it just keeps loading, just go back to the Integrations tab and follow these steps again. The connection should go through and you'll see this next pop up. All right, from here is where you'll select the list you want the leads to go to. Again, I set this all up on the Aweber side of things prior to this video, so if you still need to create your list, you'll have to do that first and then add the integration. Either way, I'm going to select my food blog ebook list and then click the Complete button. And in a few seconds, you should get a notification letting you know that the page has been successfully integrated with Aweber, and now any leads captured on this page will be sent to my food blog ebook list. Awesome. Okay, the connection is complete, so let's close this out and test the lead flow. Now, really quick, all of the active integrations will be listed here and marked with this green check mark moving forward. And also, your email provider may send you an email alerting you that the connection was made. Aweber did, and it looked like this, so just a heads up on that as well. Okay, back at Unbounce, let's head back to the overview section really quick. And once leads start flowing in, this is where they'll be stored within Unbounce and is where you can begin tracking conversions. So with that being said, let's test our landing page and lead form. Additionally, now that we've set up the domain and email integration, we'll also need to publish the page. So within the upper right corner of the dashboard, to officially launch your landing page and make it live online, click the Publish button. Then Unbounce gives you a quick review to ensure that all the page info is correct, so carefully look that over, and if everything looks good, click the Publish button again. And just like that, in a few seconds, your page will be live. And there you go, congratulations! You have officially launched your landing page, and it is now ready to capture leads. Now, one really cool feature of the overview section, which is what you're looking at right now, is that once your landing page has been published, it displays your page stats, giving you real-time conversion data. So as people sign up and convert, they'll be tracked here. And let me show you what I mean. So first things first, let's visit our live landing page, and you can get there by clicking the URL in the overview section. And so far so good. The page looks just like it did when we previewed it in the classic builder, so no complaints there. Next, let's test this form and make sure the lead flow is behaving properly. So I'm going to fill out the form and submit my info really quick. And if you recall, when we edited the form confirmation dialog a little earlier in this particular template, I was having an issue with the images loading, so I couldn't see what they were going to look like in the template builder. However, after I filled out this form in the live environment, I could see that the image is still using the placeholder iPad with some graphics behind it. So I definitely want to change this image. Okay, let's head back to Unbounce, and really quick, you'll see that now that the lead form has actually captured a lead, the stats are automatically updated in your overview dashboard. Then if you go to the leads section by clicking on leads, you can actually see the lead info stored in Unbounce. These are pretty useful tools for tracking your leads and reporting. Now, this will all be stored in my Aweber account as well, but it's great that you have these types of stats and lead data being stored in your Unbounce account as well. Okay, so before we move on, let's update the image in the form confirmation dialog pop-up. So head back to the overview page. And anytime you want to edit your already published landing page, you'll see it listed here towards the bottom of the screen. And then just click the edit button. And that'll take you back to the classic builder for your landing page. Then to update the confirmation dialog pop-up, click that button to open the settings. And from here, if you recall, I was having an issue with the particular images loading for some reason, but if I hover my mouse over the pop-up, you can see the boundary line showing me where the images actually are. I'm not sure if this is a bug or what, but it is what it is. So I want to swap out that tablet image, so I'll click on it to select the image element. Then within the image properties, click the Change Image button. And then I'm going to use my food blog ebook image that I already uploaded, so I'll select it and click the Choose button. Then I'm actually going to scale to fit this time, so I'll select that. And there we go. We now have a more on-brand image for the pop-up. Now for the sake of time, I'm just going to leave it as is, but feel free to edit this further if you'd like. All right, and then let's double check the mobile version to make sure it looks good. And it does. All right, so now that we've made some updates to an already published page, anytime you do that, I recommend saving those changes by clicking the Save button. Then you'll need to republish the page so that those changes are pushed to your live page. So this time, click the Republish button in the upper right corner of the builder. And you'll get a review notice again. Do a quick double check to make sure everything looks good, and then click the Republish button again. And in a few moments, the changes will be live. Then click the Got It button. And this page is officially done. Nice work. Okay, so let's head back to the overview page and test this form out again. So click the Overview tab. And then we'll visit the landing page again by clicking on the page URL. And I'll fill out the lead form again using a different email this time. And then submit my info. And perfect. The confirmation dialog pop-up is now using my food blog ebook image and is much more on brand. This is a great example as to why you should always test your lead forms and landing pages to ensure that everything is behaving correctly and that the leads are flowing properly through your email marketing funnel. And speaking of that, let me check and make sure that the lead flow on the Aweber side of things are working. So if I check my inbox on the email that I entered within my lead form on the landing page, I should get the confirmation email from Aweber. And there it is. And this confirms that the integration worked and that Aweber is properly connected to my Unbounce landing page and my leads are flowing from Unbounce to Aweber. All right, moving on. Next, let's go over how to create separate variants of your landing pages and leverage AI to drive high converting traffic to those pages. In this portion of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a separate variant of your landing page and then leverage Unbounce's AI Smart Traffic to drive traffic to the page that's most likely to convert. Now, I'm sure you're aware that AI, which stands for Artificial Intelligence, has taken the world by storm. Every day it seems like we're seeing new and different ways it's being applied to how we work and live our lives. And I realize that something this fantastical and new can cause you to have some reservations. However, there are applications of AI that can drastically help you save time and be a much more efficient marketer. And one of those examples of AI helping is with Unbounce's Smart Traffic. At its core, Smart Traffic allows you to send your visitors to the landing page where they're most likely to convert. Unlike A/B split testing, Smart Traffic uses AI to analyze visitor attributes and automatically routes them to the page that's proven to work best for people like them. All you have to do is turn on Smart Traffic and get up to 30% more sales and signups. It's really that easy. So, to turn it on, under the page traffic mode, simply select the Smart Traffic option. Then you'll see that the next steps are to create a second variant of your landing page and then publish it. This is like a second version of your landing page where you'll essentially tweak it to make it different from the first variant. Then the AI Smart Traffic will start sending traffic to both variants and will also begin its learning phase, reviewing that traffic data to determine which page the user is most likely to convert on. It will then send that user to that particular page. It really is a phenomenal tool that's super easy to use, so let's get it going. Okay, after you've enabled Smart Traffic, you'll want to create a second variant. And you aren't limited to how many variants you can create, but for this example, I'm only creating 2 variants. So let's click the Add a Second Variant link. And then you'll get a pop-up where it asks you how you'd like to create this variant. Again, this is a personal preference and your campaigns may call for a different workflow, but for this example, I'm simply duplicating my first variant and then we'll make my tweaks in the builder. So I'll leave that option selected and click the Create Variant button. Then you'll see your second variant listed and the second step, which is add a second variant. It's marked as complete with a green check mark. Next, it's time to edit this variant so that it's different from the first. So click the Edit button next to the second variant. And this will bring you to the classic builder where you can begin to make your changes. Now remember, this is a duplicate from the first variant, but I'll want to tweak some things here to make it different from the first. And this won't be a deep dive on conversion testing and what to change within the different variants, but some popular elements to test are headlines, messaging, images, colors, etc. It's really up to you, but all you'll do is make your changes to the landing page variant just like you would any other page. And I'm going to speed through this for the sake of time, but as you're making your changes, make sure you're updating the mobile version as well. Then once you've edited your second variant of the landing page, don't forget to save your changes, so click the Save button. Then to make this live, click the Republish button. And once again, you'll get the review pop-up. You can always check this box not to show it again if you'd like, and then click the Republish button. And perfect. We now have a second variant of the landing page for the Smart Traffic to start sending traffic to. Another thing I want to show you really quick is that within the builder, if you look towards the upper left corner of the screen, you can actually toggle between the 2 variants by clicking this drop down. This is great because it allows you to review your changes and move quickly between landing page variants. Okay, now that we have 2 variants for the AI Smart Traffic to send traffic to, let's head back to the page overview. And then if you look towards the bottom there, you'll see that the Smart Traffic setup has been completed and the 2 variants are live. Now, if you look in the upper right corner of this highlighted area, you'll see that there is a progress bar notating the learning status. This is letting you know that AI is still gathering data in its initial learning phase, and once complete, it'll be able to start sending traffic to the higher converting pages. After as few as 50 visits, Smart Traffic has enough information to start routing visitors to the page variant where they're most likely to convert, getting you on average 30% more sales and signups. How cool is that? All right, then by default, the pages are named First Variant and First Variant Copy, but you can change the names of the variants to help you be more organized. Just hover your mouse over the variant title and click that little pencil icon, and then this allows you to edit it to whatever you'd like. And I'm just going to call this Second Variant. There we go, much better and easier to keep track of. Okay, the last thing I want to go over in regard to the Smart Traffic is the reporting. Once you've enabled the Smart Traffic feature and created additional variants, Unbounce will create reports on that data collected that you can access by clicking on the Reporting tab. Now, I just enabled this feature and the AI is still in the learning phase, plus I don't have any traffic going to this page yet, but once propagated, you'll see a list of the total number of visitors, conversions, and the conversion rate compared to different attributes such as geographical region, which is like country and or state, time zone, operating system like Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, etc., and device type, which are mobile or desktop. This type of reporting can help you identify significant groups of traffic with similar conversion characteristics and ultimately helps you increase your landing page conversions. Okay, so that's going to do it for the Classic Builder overview. I hope you found it helpful and you're starting to get a better idea as to how to use it to create your high converting landing pages. All right, moving on. Let's head back to the Pages section really quick, so click the Pages tab. And next, let's explore Unbounce's new AI landing page builder, conveniently called the Smart Builder. In this portion of the tutorial, we're going to create a new landing page with Unbounce's Smart Builder. This is an AI-powered landing page builder with data-backed recommendations that help you build and design a lot faster in a few simple steps. Just provide some information about your campaign, and Smart Builder will suggest layouts designed to resonate with your audience. Then complete a few more prompts, and Smart Builder instantly generates on-brand copy for your landing page. This is a really amazing tool, and if you're someone like me who is pretty much a one-person marketing department, then the Smart Builder will save you a ton of time and money. So with that being said, let's use the Smart Builder to create a landing page. So within your dashboard, in the upper right corner of the Pages section, click the Create New button. And this time we're going to use the Smart Builder. So click the Start Building button under the Smart Builder section. Next, you'll be asked a few questions by the Design Assistant. This will craft page design recommendations based on details about your client and Unbounce account. So first, it'll ask what industry you're in. So within that drop-down, select the industry that best fits your niche. Below that is the purpose of the landing page, and they start you off with 4 options, but if you click the Show More link, you'll be presented with additional purposes to choose from. And for this particular example, the purpose of the landing page is to get someone to sign up for a free ebook. So I'm going to select ebook/guide for the purpose of this landing page. Then if you want to include a lead form, keep Yes selected, and then click the See Your Page button. And the AI gets to work and curates a recommended landing page template that performs well for the fitness and nutrition ebook/guide pages. Then towards the left are some design edits that you can make before you start adding content to the page. First is the Industry tab. And if you feel like this layout doesn't really work for you, you can always change industries and see if any of the other templates work better. So this landing page will be for a food blog ebook. So I'll go with the catering and restaurants industry instead. There we go. That feels much more on brand with a food related theme. Then below that is the page style guide. By default, it starts you with the suggested style, but you can always switch it to custom, which gives you more creative freedom in terms of the style of the layout. And rest assured, you can update the page typography like the fonts, the font family, text size, and so on. Also, the page sections and background colors are customizable as well, and we'll definitely address them in later steps while designing and editing this landing page. However, for this example, I'm sticking with the AI and we'll leave it as the suggested style. Now, one really cool feature of the suggested style guide is that it also comes with these additional pre-made style configurations you can browse and choose from. If you click the Show More link, you can preview the different styles to see if anything works best for you. And as we rifle through the different ones, you can see how it changes in the preview there to the right. Then once you've landed on a particular style, go ahead and click the Create Copy button. And Unbounce will then take you through their copy assistant. This is a built-in wordsmith that will generate high-converting copy for your entire landing page, catered to your audience, industry, and conversion goals. How awesome is that? Okay, to start, in the text box provided, simply type out a description of your company in 100 words or less. And again, for this example, I am acting as if this landing page is for a food blog ebook, so this is going to say Kale and Croutons is a food blog specializing in farm-to-table healthy recipes. Then below that, you'll see a little switch for the enhanced copy. And flipping this switch on lets you give more details about your brand and purpose, ultimately helping the copy assistant get even more specific with the copy that it suggests for your landing page. Now, I'm not going to make you sit through me filling all this out, but again, once it's all filled out and you've added the description and enhanced copy, go ahead and click the Generate Copy button and the copy assistant goes to work. And this may take a few seconds, so just sit tight while it does its thing. Then in a few more seconds, it'll give you a preview of that first option to copy. Again, don't worry about the font, color, and design. We can configure that in a few moments. Just focus on the copy and see if it's in line with your brand and, most importantly, your audience. Now, one really cool feature of the Copy Assistant is that you can generate up to 3 options of different copy. Simply click the Generate More Copy button, and the AI will generate additional options for you to choose from. Then you can cycle between the different options here, where Unbounce even has a ranking system, as well as a little insight as to what they think will work best with those green dashes. The options that are all green are the ones that, based on Unbounce's data, will convert the best. Either way, this copy assistant is a huge time saver if you're running into some writer's block or need some extra inspiration for your landing page copy. Okay, so I'm going to stick with option number 3. So once you've decided on which one will work best for you, click the Choose This Option button. And this will take you to the Smart Editor where you can begin editing your landing page. Now, before we dive in and start editing, let me give you a quick tour of the Smart Editor. For starters, you'll notice that the template is front and center, and all elements within the template are customizable. It's somewhat similar to the classic builder in that when you hover your mouse over each element, you can see the boundary lines appear, letting you know what is what, while also helping you along as you begin editing the content. Next, if we scroll up to the top of the Smart Editor, let's take a look at some of the controls and tools. Starting at the very top in the upper left corner, we have the Unbounce icon and page title. Clicking on that icon will take you back to the Unbounce dashboard. Then towards the right corner, you have the ability to give feedback to Unbounce about the Smart Builder. Now, as I'm filming this tutorial, it's March 2023, so the Smart Builder is still in beta. But I think it's great that Unbounce gives their customers the ability to provide feedback if they find a bug or if something's not working correctly. Then directly next to that is the ability to toggle the page preview or view the tablet or mobile versions of your page. You'll toggle the preview button to view how the live version of your landing page will appear when it's published. Then click the arrow button next to the desktop icon to toggle between the different versions of your landing page based on screen size, like desktop, tablet, and mobile versions. Then all the way towards the right are the save and publish buttons. These are pretty straightforward, but the save button will be highlighted in blue if you have not saved the most recent changes to your landing page, so be sure to save your page often. You can also publish or republish your page directly in the Smart Builder by clicking the Publish button. Then moving back to the left side of the screen, you'll see the tools and components needed to design and customize your landing page. This includes the following tabs from left to right. There's Content Tree, Style Guide, Page Settings, Conversions, and Unbounce Apps. And we'll definitely be using these in just a bit, so you'll get a more in-depth look at what they can do in just a few moments. Okay, moving back to the right-hand side of the screen, we have the Redo and Undo buttons. The button on the left will undo the action, while the right button will redo the action. Then the question mark is the Unbounce support. You can chat with their friendly support team directly within the Smart Builder by clicking that question mark icon and following the prompts to start a live chat. And finally, we have the actual Smart Builder and landing page template. This is where you begin to edit the actual font, design, and overall layout of the landing page. It's quite similar to the classic builder, but it's built to speed up the process. So that's the Smart Builder in a nutshell. Hopefully you have a better idea of how things work, but let me walk you through the process of building with the Smart Builder to actually build and edit your landing page. Okay, so as I previously mentioned, every element on this page is customizable. And just like the classic builder, you can edit them in real time by clicking on each one. So for example, let's say I want to change this heading. Simply place your cursor on the text and you'll see the box appear with some additional editing toolbars. Then to change the text within the heading, just start typing or delete it altogether and create your new heading. Either way, you can change the text in real time right here within the editor. Then towards the bottom left of the heading, you'll see the typography edit toolbar. This will apply the typography edits to the section or element only, not the entire landing page. And clicking on the pencil icon will launch the design settings. This is where you can update the typography or styling for the specific section only. And since this text is hard to see against the dark background, I'll want to change it to a lighter color. So I'll use the text color tool. And there we go. The heading color in that particular element has been changed and is much easier to read. Then I'll do the same thing to the paragraph font below the heading, and the steps are the exact same. You'll select the element that you want to edit, and then open the design settings and change the color. Super easy. Then one thing I noticed is that some of the sentences of my generated copy didn't start with a capital letter, so let me edit that really quick. And I've submitted my feedback to Unbounce about this, but if you're using the beta version of the Smart Builder, it's something to keep an eye out for. But either way, it's always a best practice to review all of your copy to ensure proper grammar is used before you publish the page and make it live for the world to see. Then for the sake of time, I'm leaving the rest of the copy as is, but feel free to tweak it and make edits as you see fit when you're creating your landing page. Okay, next let's cover the various controls and tools that we briefly went over during the overview of the Smart Builder. So in the upper left corner of the toolbar, the top of the screen, you'll see 5 icons at the moment. Keep in mind that this is the beta version that I'm using in this tutorial, so depending on when you're viewing this video, this may have changed. But as of now in March 2023, there are 5 icons for your controls and tools. So first we have the content tree. And this provides you with a hierarchy layout of all components and sections of your landing page, including the option to hide or display elements by clicking on the eyeball icon next to each element. This comes in handy when you're editing the mobile or desktop version of your landing page. And you'll see that as I click on these eyeball icons, this essentially hides the element that it's associated with and removes it from the landing page. Then simply click the eyeball icon again to re-add it. Pretty straightforward. But again, this can come in handy when you're making changes on the fly. Next is the style guide, and this lets you update your page design and branding globally, meaning it changes every single element instead of just one. For example, if I open the headings tab, this will give me the ability to edit the style of every heading on the page all at once. So let's say that I change the font family of the headings. This means that anywhere that particular heading is used on the page going forward, it'll be changed to whatever I set it as in the style guide. Again, this can save you a ton of time if you know what style of font you want to use throughout your page instead of updating each heading one by one. You can quickly make a global edit in the style guide. And I realize that some of the spacing between the line height of the headings is kind of tight, but I'll show you how to edit that in just a few moments. Next, we have the page settings. And if you plan on sharing your landing page to different media platforms, or you're looking to improve your page's SEO rankings, you'll want to update your page metadata and settings. And updating your page's title, description, keywords, and social sharing image can help improve how Google indexes your page. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to be updating the page settings, but if you plan on having your landing page indexed, or if you will be sharing it on social, I highly recommend that you get in the habit of updating the page settings when creating your landing pages in the Smart Builder. Then another feature of the page settings is that you can edit the background and borders of the page. You can add an image to the background, or even change the color altogether. Just another way to quickly make some drastic changes on the fly. And I'm actually going to undo these changes, so anytime you make a change, you can revert to the original state by clicking the undo button in the upper right corner of the toolbar. Next, we have the conversion settings, and this allows you to set which actions on your page you'd like to track as conversions, such as button clicks, link clicks, or form submissions. Right now, I only have a form element that would be able to facilitate a conversion, so by default, that's selected. But once you start adding additional clickable elements, such as links and buttons, you can set to track their conversions here. And finally, we have the Apps tab, and this allows you to access a variety of built-in tools directly within Unbounce. Here you can extend the functionality and value of landing pages by adding their favorite tools or features in just a few clicks with no coding required. Okay, so once you start making changes, it's always a good idea to preview those changes to ensure the layout is consistent across multiple devices and that the user experience is up to par. So if you look towards the right corner of the toolbar, you'll see the preview toggle switch. It's currently turned off, but if you flip that on, you'll be able to see a preview of the view you have selected. It's currently set to desktop, but I'll show you how to change that in a few moments. And the desktop version looks good so far. Then click that arrow button next to the desktop icon to toggle between the different versions of your landing page based on screen size. You can preview desktop, tablet, and the mobile versions. So here's the tablet preview. And then mobile. Again, I highly recommend getting in the habit of previewing your work across all devices to ensure a good user experience before you launch. For example, you're probably noticing that we have some spacing and padding issues with some of the headings and form fields. So it's a good thing I previewed this so that I'm able to fix it before finding these issues after the page is already live. These things may seem small, but they could have a negative effect on your conversions. So it's best to take care of them before launching your landing page. Okay, so let me turn the preview off and I'll stay in the mobile view. And the first thing I want to change is the padding around the form fields. Currently they're spread full width across the entire screen, but I want to add a little space around them. So in order to do that, simply click on the form element within the editor like so. Then towards the bottom left corner of the element, you'll see an additional toolbar pop up, and clicking that first tab there will give you the ability to edit the section padding. And all you'll do is type the number of pixels that you want to add to that section padding. And I'll go with 40 on the right and left of the form. And look at that, much better in my opinion. Then scrolling down to the headings, by default the line height is pretty tight, so to fix that, click on the heading element to open the editing options, and then click the pencil icon to open the design settings. Then from here, find the line height settings and change the pixels to whatever you think looks the best. So let's try 50, and then 40, and then I'm gonna go with 45. There we go, I like that. Then I'll close this out and update the other headings so that they match. And as I'm doing this, I'm realizing that I could have just updated the line height setting in the toolbar at the top of the builder, because that would have updated the line height globally, but again, I'm still learning too. Okay, so you'll want to make sure and update the desktop and tablet versions as well, so I'll do that really quick. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to update the desktop, but you'd obviously want to preview all of the views to make sure the padding and line height look good across all devices. And the steps are the exact same here. I would select the heading that I want to edit, and then open the design settings and change the line height within those settings. And there we go. As we scroll down and check the other headings, spacing looks good within the template. But again, always get in the habit of previewing your changes so that you can see what it'll look like on a live environment. So we'll go ahead and preview this, and it looks much better. Again, I know it seems tedious, but it's always the best practice to preview your changes before you launch. Okay, next let me show you how to update the images. So just like everything else on the page, you'll select that specific element to edit it, then click the pencil icon. And for this particular section, you can change the background image. Just click that little upload icon. And I've actually already uploaded an image, but you can browse Unsplash or just upload your own. And just like that, we have a different vibe to the page. Now, let me preview this really quick to see what it looks like. And the white font is kind of hard to read, so let's go back to the editor. You could try different colors of font to see if that makes it better. And for the paragraph and heading, I'll just click on those elements and open the design settings and use that color picker tool to change it to a black color instead of white. It's still kind of hard to read, but you get the idea. In this case, I'd probably use a different image or add an overlay to it in Photoshop, but you can always undo your changes and revert back to the original state. Then the last thing I'm going to cover in terms of designing the page are adding links to the buttons. By default, they don't link to anything, but you can change that by clicking on the button you want to edit. And from here, click the link icon to open the link settings. And then you have the option of linking to a web address, phone number, email, or section of the page. And for this example, I'm actually linking to a section of the page, which will be my lead form. That way, whenever someone clicks on the button, it'll take them to that lead form. So let me do that really quick for all the buttons. Then if we preview the page and scroll down and click on the button, it will automatically scroll the user to the top of the page and direct them to the form. Again, this is just an example of what you could do with the buttons, but pretty cool feature nevertheless. Okay, so that's going to do it for the design portion of the Smart Builder tutorial. You'd obviously want to update the additional images, logo, and footer, but hopefully this gave you a good start on how to use the Smart Builder to create and design your landing pages with the help of AI. All right, so we still need to update the URL and add the email marketing integration before we publish this page. So don't forget to save your changes. And then let's head back to the dashboard by clicking the Unbounce icon in the upper left corner of the screen. Then back at the page overview, you'll see that the URL is using the domain that we set earlier and is using the words new beta page in the permalink. So I'd obviously want to change that. And here's how to update the URL. So go ahead and just click the change URL button. And then from that prompt, you can set the primary domain being used as well as the page path. Then again, if you make any changes, don't forget to click the save URL button and that will update the URL. Next, you'd want to add your email marketing integration. So just like the classic builder, you'd click the integrations tab. And from here, select the app that you want to use. Now, I'm not going to walk you through the steps again because adding Aweber is the exact same as when we did it for the landing page that we built with the classic builder. But you'd select your app you'd want to integrate with the landing page and then follow the steps. Okay, back at the overview, the last thing I'm going to do for this page is update the title being used in the back end of Unbounce. By default, it's titled Landing Page 2, but as you begin creating more pages, you'll want to diversify your titles in the back end so that you can stay organized. So to change this page title, hover your mouse over it and click that little pencil icon, and then you can rename it to whatever you want. Then once you're done with your edits and integrations, it's time to publish the page. So click the Publish button to launch your landing page and to start sending web traffic to it. Now, I'm not going to cover smart traffic and creating variants for this landing page, but the steps to implement that for this page are the exact same as the previous landing page. The only thing that would be different is that you're using the Smart Builder to make your landing page edits instead of the Classic Builder. But if you want to create different variants of this landing page, you can do so by enabling the Smart Traffic feature. Okay, so that's pretty much going to do it. If we head back to the Pages section, you'll see that as you start building landing pages, they'll be neatly listed here, giving you some quick stats and an easy way to monitor and access your pages within your Unbounce dashboard. All right, moving on to the final thing that we're going to cover, and that is Unbounce's new Smart Copy feature. In this portion of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how to leverage Unbounce's new AI copywriting assistant by using their new Smart Copy feature. With this new tool, you'll be able to ideate, iterate, and write custom, high-quality, engaging professional copy for your company or your website or your blog quickly and easily. The AI will help you write any kind of content on different topics with expert-level understanding. So to access the Smart Copy feature, within your dashboard in the bottom left corner of the screen, you should see an AI copywriting tab. This was free with my 2023 plan. And if this is your first time using the Smart Copy feature, when you initially click on this, you'll need to set up your Smart Copy account. And I already went through the sign up process when I was testing it, but it's pretty straightforward. You'll just create a username and password. Then when you log in using that tab in your dashboard, you'll be taken here and you'll have access to over 45 templates to choose from. Do you need to write ad copy, emails, taglines, product descriptions, social posts? They've got a template for that. Simply select a template, and then depending on that template, Smart Copy will ask you to enter a description, title, tone, etc. And let me show you how that works really quick. So for this example, I'm going to select the landing page template. Then you'll be prompted to fill out some fields to help the AI get started. Now, I already did this for the sake of time, but again, you'll just want to fill out these required fields. And then once you've filled this prompt out, click the Write for Me button, and then let the Smart Copy AI come up with possible copy suggestions. Now, since this is a landing page template, they give you an actual preview of what the copy would look like on a landing page, but as you know, not all landing pages are designed the same. So this copy may or may not fit your landing page design exactly, but it's a great place to start and it helps get the ball rolling if you're stuck or need some extra inspiration. And speaking of that, there's also a notepad feature that you can access by clicking this green notepad tab on the right-hand side of the screen. And this notepad's a great place to take notes and mix and match templates, but please keep in mind that the content within the notepad is erased after every session. But it's still a helpful place to take notes as you work on your copy. Another cool thing is that if you look towards the bottom right corner of the preview, you should see a few icons. This is where you can create a shareable link to the copy if you need to share it with your team or client. You can copy it. This is helpful because you can then paste it to a Google Doc or email, and then you could save the copy. And this saves it within Unbounce for you to come back to later. Then if you need to access any of your saved content, navigate to the Saved tab on the left-hand side of the Smart Copy navbar. And speaking of the navbar, this is like your Smart Copy toolbar. We're not going to cover all of these tabs in this video, but this is where you can access the templates, the writer features, you could save content ideas, access additional tools, give feedback, and even contact support, all from this Smart Copy navbar. Again, for the sake of time, I'm not going to do a deep dive into all these features, but I highly recommend checking out Unbounce's Smart Copy help documentation that I've linked to in the video description below. They have some amazing step-by-step articles that go deeper into how to use the additional features of this AI copywriting tool. Okay, the last thing I want to cover here is the Smart Copy Chrome extension. So within the Smart Copy navbar, click the Tools icon, And from here, you can add the Smart Copy Chrome extension or the desktop app. I'm currently using Chrome, so I'm going to add the Chrome extension. So let's click the Add to Chrome button. And if you're new to the Smart Copy Chrome extension, this tool will help you write, rewrite, summarize, or expand your copy, all with a few clicks of a button. As you'll see in a few moments, the extension helps you write headings and paragraphs, expand on the content you've written, summarize longer content, or even rewrite one of your existing lines of content. Additionally, when building your landing pages, the Chrome extension works on any web page being viewed in Chrome, Gmail, Google Docs, Grammarly, or even directly in Unbounce. It really is an amazing little tool, so let's add the extension to Chrome by clicking the Add to Chrome button. Then I'll approve the addition by clicking the Add Extension button. And then in this example, it redirects me to a thank you page that is also the Smart Copy pricing page. Now, the Chrome extension is free, and so is Smart Copy, but Unbounce does offer premium plans of Smart Copy that you can upgrade to if you'd like. However, for this tutorial, I'm sticking with the free version. Okay, after you've added the Smart Copy Chrome extension, you'll need to log into the extension with your Smart Copy login credentials. So at the top of the Chrome browser, you should see the Smart Copy extension icon. And I apologize that my screen recording didn't record this, but once you click on that icon, you'll have the option of pinning it so that it stays in your browser. So I'm going to do that. Then if you click on it again, you'll be asked to enter your Smart Copy login credentials. So let me do that really quick. And then after you sign in, you could start using the extension to enhance your copywriting workflow. And let me show you some examples. So if we head back to Unbounce and go to a landing page, let's go to the one that I built within the Classic Builder. Then within the Builder, you can use the Chrome extension on the various text elements that are on the page. And to activate it, simply triple click on any of the text within the landing page builder that you want to use the extension on. So I'll place my cursor in the heading and click my mouse 3 times, and that highlights all the text, but you'll also see this new Smart Copy icon appear in the upper right corner. This is the extension. So to use it, click on that icon, and this will open an additional toolbar that opens the different features available. First, we have Expand. This automatically writes more content to expand and lengthen existing content on your page. Use the Expand feature to charge past writer's block or generate an entire paragraph of additional content. Next is Summarize, and this synthesizes the existing copy to make it more concise. Then there is Remix, and this takes in existing content and completely rewrites it, providing you with new versions of the same content. This feature retains the original thought while also restating it. Finally, there's Next Sentence, and this curates the next sentence or phrase following a passage. Okay, so let's put this extension to work. So I'm going to try the Remix feature, and when you click that little Remix icon, an additional window opens where the Smart Copy extension gives you an alternative version of the current headline. Then you can actually click on the recommended text to replace what's currently being used on the landing page. But I didn't know that when I was shooting this video, so another option is to copy it. So I'll click the copy icon and then manually paste it to the landing page. This Remix feature is a really cool way to get the creative juices flowing and to try different copy on your landing pages and their variants. Okay, this time let's try the Next Sentence feature. And this curates the next sentence or phrase following the headline. So I'll click the Next Sentence icon, and then after it gives you some suggested copy, you can sift through the multiple variations of copy suggestions by clicking the Next button there. Then this is when you would actually copy the text and use it in a paragraph after the heading or somewhere on the page following the heading. But either way, this is another really cool feature. Next, let me show you some other ways to use the Smart Copy extension. So if we visit an actual web page, like Unbounce's Smart Copy landing page, this is a live web page on the internet, and you can actually use the Smart Copy extension on a web page if you're viewing it within the Chrome browser. The steps to use it are the exact same, but again, this is another way you could spark some creativity and generate some ideas for your landing page copy. Then the final application of the extension that I want to cover is within a Google Doc. So if we head over to a document that I'm writing within Google Docs, it's actually a blog post reviewing Unbounce, and from here I can use the Smart Copy extension within the Google Doc to help me write. So this time let's use the Summarize feature, and clicking on the Summarize icon synthesizes the existing copy to make it more concise. How cool is that? All right, so that's gonna do it. Thank you so much for watching and for using my tutorial. I hope you found it helpful with understanding the benefits of Unbounce and all they have to offer. And if you have any questions about using Unbounce, be sure to visit their help documentation for additional assistance. I've linked to it within the video description below, but their support docs are extremely helpful when you're starting out with Unbounce. Again, thanks for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in using Unbounce to create beautiful and high converting landing pages to boost your online marketing efforts. So that's going to do it for this video. If you found it helpful, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Also, now that you've started your blog, check out these 2 videos on email marketing and blog monetization. They'll help you grow your audience and earn a passive income with your blog. And as always, your support means a great deal to me and my family, and for that, I thank you. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.